To say that Natasha Jonas, the two-weight world champion, is in the studio after a victory last weekend. Congratulations, well done. Nice. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, thank you for having me.
Yeah, you enjoyed last weekend? What was it like in Manchester?
It was a good atmosphere. I think the whole build-up, it was me going for a different, a title at a different weight, and obviously Sav going for undisputed. And yeah, all the other action that was on the card. So
how did that feel for you? You know, winning a world title at a second different weight. You know, a historic moment for British women's boxing. Savannah Marshall becoming undisputed super middleweight champion as well. It was a brilliant night. The atmosphere was incredible. You boxed a girl called Candy Wyatt, and at times it was punishing, to be fair. You hurt her badly in the first round, and then you systematically broke her down and stopped her. It ended up stopping her in the 8th round. Great performance, but you know, what did it mean to you winning a world title at a second weight?
I think everything after Namas is just a bonus. Like the first world title, it was just to get a world title seemed so far off at one stage. To actually get that, I felt like a big relief. It was like a big pressure was lifted off my shoulders, and now everything that I do is just, you know, it's just an added bonus. So, like, going back down in weight, I never planned to stay at the 154 limit. I've been trying to get the Jessica McCaskill fight for straight after Namas since. Obviously, for whatever reason, she's chose what's best for her, and we couldn't get that on. But, you know, all the other opportunities kept on presenting themselves at super welter, so I just stayed at that weight. Then the opportunities kind of dried up, and I thought, well, yeah, I wanted to go back down. Like I say, I wasn't a natural super welter. I'd never weighed in above 149 with my clothes on. So it was just the most sensible thing to do. And obviously the opportunity for Candy to fight Candy for the vacant title was there because McCaskill had to vacate it, and the Haberson fight didn't happen to fight for it. So it made sense for me to do it.
I mean, your first two attempts at a world title, you failed at. You drew against Terry Harper, a controversial fight at super featherweight. Then you move up to lightweight and have an absolutely unbelievable ding-dong with Katie Taylor. Could have gone either way. Katie got the nod on that one. And it looks at one point that you may never pick a world title up. You jump up 3 weight divisions, win a world title, couple of defences there, come down a weight division, win another world title. I mean, where does that take you now, Tasha? You know, you're in the twilight of your career. What sort of fights are you looking for? Do you want a Katie Taylor fight again? You know, do you want just the big names that are out there? And also at ringside, by the way, was Claressa Shields. And we know how loud Claressa Shields is and the mouth that she's got on her. She was talking about a fight possibly at 147. Is that something that we could see?
I spent so much time last year trying to do the Claressa fight at 154. And it was like kind of a learning curve because we spent so much time on it that all the other fights in the meantime got taken up and then it fell through. And then I was left with no one. So I thought that fight had gone now. And then a couple of weeks later, like Dimitri Salas was saying, you know, it was never going to be at 154. It was supposed to be a catch weight at 146, and that wasn't the case. That wasn't what we agreed to at all. So someone in her team is like, you know, crossing wires, and then, you know, then she's saying she'll come down to 154. Well, your team's saying that you can't even make 147. Your team's saying that you can't even make 154. So why were you coming down to 147? But if she wants to come down to 147, I'm not going back up. And, you know, she's kicking off and screaming about pay and about money, and it's like she's the only one that can be paid, because when I asked for more money to fight her, then I was ducking. But she wants more money to come down to a weight that I'm a bit more natural at. And she will, I'm not saying struggle at, but she will find it harder to get down to. So she wants paying more money to do that, but doesn't expect me to get paid more money to stay at a weight that's not natural to me. So it's just stupid.
Yeah, women's boxing at the moment really has evolved, isn't it, since the Savannah Marshall-Claressa Shields fight, that monumental moment back last year at the O2 Arena, 20,000 fans, and it just seems to have gone from strength to strength. You know, with all the failures of the heavyweight division at the moment, the fights that we're not getting over the line or whatever, the women seem to be stepping up to the plate and producing these fights and these great nights, like there was on Saturday night.
Yeah, I think we always knew how good women's boxing was because we were the athletes in it. We just needed the world to see it and the platforms to be on and to be taken seriously. And I think that we've got that now in abundance. And, you know, it's still not where we want it to be. And we've still got a lot of, you know, depth that we need to get better. But, like, we're headed in the right direction. And I think, you know, that's what we needed.
What did you make of the ticket sales at the weekend? Because I think you sold 8,000 tickets for the event. Did that feel as if that was marketed properly? Was there enough interest in it for you?
I think so, and I think what says a lot is that I think me and Savannah were the top ticket sellers on the night on the card. So, you know, that says a lot about, you know, we're kind of like slowly chipping away at all them barriers that people are putting up. It doesn't sell, it's not interesting, it's not competitive, it's not this, it's not that. And every fight, we're breaking them down. So
Sam, I've got to say, like, if you go back 3 years, and I talk about that monumental night, you know, back at the O2 last year, 20,000 fans. If you go back 3 years and you would have talked about women's boxing headlining at the O2 or the AO Arena in Manchester, you would have probably been laughed at, you know, and that's the reality of how quick it's growing, Simon.
Absolutely right. And there was some narrative earlier on in the week about people spinning it out that there was only 8,000 tickets there. It's exactly what Spencer just said. I mean, originally this event was scheduled for Eubank versus Smith. So there was always a reaction to the fact that fight wasn't headlining and the fact that the women were now headlining the event. But Jane Couch will be sitting there now looking at it going, look what's happened to women's boxing. I was at, you know, when Claressa Shields came over and watched it with Savannah Marshall. You know, this is a sport that needs to be given support, needs to be given some time to distill in terms of the women's game. And 8,000 fans coming specifically and explicitly to watch Natasha, to watch Savannah, tells you that the women's journey is in the right space, and that should be praised, because let's get it right. Josh Taylor got 2,500 people in Madison Square Garden to fight Teofimo Lopez. So when anyone turns around and says 8,000 fans, oh, it's a bit of a disappointment, women can't sell it, I'll have a word with yourself. You know?
I think
So
progress was worse. I think progress was worse.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, we all get our struggles if we don't, you know, promoted right, or, you know, the platform isn't big enough, or the fight isn't big enough. That way, every boxer, no matter what weight or what, you know, sex or whatever, they'll have that problem. They'll have that issue. So
I just think that it shows us there's an appetite for women's boxing at the moment. Women's sport is growing, you know, the football are doing so well as well, but shows that there's an appetite for women's boxing. I think because the best are fighting the best, and you girls are putting on, you know, great fights and great events. The demographic of the crowd actually is even different to what you get at a normal fight. So you're introducing it to a new crowd, a younger audience as well. So it's only moving in the right direction.
I think so, and I think I don't want to like put a negative side on it, but sometimes when, you know, the men are topping the bill, it's a whole lot serious, and the mood's a little bit different. Like you say, the crowd and the demographics are different, so people are less reluctant to take their children and to take young ones and whatever. But when the women are fighting, it's a bit lighter. Obviously the pressure and everything is still the same, but the mood is different. And
where were you on the debate, Tasha, about 3-minute rounds? I mean, obviously, I watched you, and I was very proud of you when you won your world title against Namus in Manchester. You obviously like being in Manchester,
yeah,
and it was great. And you did a job then, and you did a job last weekend. But where are you on this debate? Because whatever people don't have is what they want. Right?
Yeah,
if you haven't got this, you've got to have that. But there is an argument that suggests that people want to see knockouts and they want to see stoppages, and the 3-minute rounds will start to present that as a more regularity in women's boxing. Where are you in that debate?
I get both sides of the argument, but I think the reality is different to what people say they want, and the reality of it is two different things. So I think, you know, when we have them knockouts, like when Savannah Polak's their opponent, like when Terry Harper got stopped badly, like
people don't like it.
People don't like to see it.
But you as a fighter, because we said that the other day, we said that there's a clamouring for it, but also I think there's a dynamic that people won't want to see women knocking one another out.
Exactly.
But boxing's boxing. But you as a fighter, where are you in it?
As a fighter, I believe that 3 rounds would suit me better. 3-minute rounds, would suit me better personally. Yeah. But I think for the sport growing in the right direction, maybe 12 2-minute rounds would be better.
So where I'm at with that is I think that you sort of dilute it a little bit with the 3-minute rounds, because you lose the pace of the contest, because what the girls are actually doing is they're going out there and it's explosive and you're getting everything, and exactly, because you've got to win the rounds, you've got to start really fast, and I think that is a perfect formula for creating great fights, you know. And I think that the answer is not 3-minute rounds, but you're right in what you said there, is 12 2-minute rounds, and I think that's where, you know, you would see it down the backstretch and you would see, you know, what you wanted to see. But yeah, I think that if it's not broke, don't fix it. I think you're getting great fights at the moment, and maybe adding 2 more rounds. But it's like, yeah, you know, like Simon says, if someone always wants what they haven't got.
Yeah.
You mentioned Terry Harper there. That rematch probably not going to happen. What's next for you, Chantel Cameron?
I would love the Chantel Cameron. I would love the Katie Taylor. But I think that the results on Saturday just kept the doors open because, you know, in boxing, the doors so quickly close if the result doesn't go right or it doesn't happen. And I've had that happen before. So, you know, the main goal was to just keep all the doors open, win and keep all the doors open. And now, you know, almost nearly every fight that I could have an option on, it could be an undisputed fight. So that's the main goal, is to keep myself active and to have the big fight.
And what are you doing now in your mind after what happened on Saturday? Are you mapping out the next 12 months of your career?
I think there's a couple of results that we need to see which way it goes. But yeah, I'm just right now I'm booking holidays. I'm going away with my little girl. Poor little girl has had 2 half terms and an Easter holiday in Champs Camp in Manchester. Didn't go anywhere and was in the gym with me going through camp. So yeah, we're going to go away, enjoy it, and then we'll come back and I'm sure we'll have a plan of what we want to do and where we want to go.
And you were watching Wimbledon yesterday?
I was watching Wimbledon, yeah, it was good.
Enjoy it?
I always enjoy Wimbledon. I love it on the telly, but it's even better when it's live.
Nice. Is it the individual sport thing that you love on that though? Because I love watching any sport that's an individual sport as opposed to a team sport. Do you get that?
Yeah, I get it, but I just like the skill, and it's like, people are going to say, they'll say, but it is a bit like boxing because you're putting people in places in order to do something else. So you've got to, like, you know, strategically place people where you want them. Maneuver, that's the word I'm looking for.
I mean, Simon goes there for the strawberries and the champagne, and that's it.
Yeah.
Do you ever watch tennis when you were there?
Yes.
Oh, you do?
I was coached for 9 years at tennis. I was quite a good tennis player.
I could see you in the VIP lounge drinking champagne.
Have you ever been,
You
Spencer?
never see me for a telescope.
I have actually, yeah.
Did you get a cushion?
I was on centre court. Don't remember much of it.
Ball boy.
Too much champagne.
Couldn't see above the net.
Whoa, hold on, boys.
The only ball boy that doesn't have
This is
got
the stick that I
bent
get
down.
in here, you know? 2 against 1.
And obviously, big season in the WSL as well. And you've got a keen interest in that, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, my sister Nikita Paris plays obviously for United. She likes to test my loyalties. She's played for City, United, Arsenal. But yeah, so yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on that. We try and get to as many games as we can.
Jim White and Simon Jordan, Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.